Hello everyone, this is PeuRen from PeuRen Development, and thank you for watching the quick feature showcase. And now we're going to get into a more in-depth version of the whole presentation to present all of the script features in a more detailed way so you can understand everything that the script has to offer. So as you saw before, the script features an user interface which can be opened by a configurable command. By default, it's /gangs. And a new opens up that has four of these tabs. So the first tab is your gang. It will display your gang's information, and it will also allow you to create a new gang. Then we have a all gangs tab that will display all of the gangs and their statistics. Then we have the territories tab, which displays all of the territories and their interest points as like stash house, grandma, refineries, and you can also view the territory information. And then the dark web tab, which is going to be one of the most important tabs, but as you can see, we cannot access it yet because we're not part of a gang. So to create a gang, you just click this button and enter your gang's information. So for example, the gang name can be the Ballas families. The short gang name is supposed to not be anything script-wise or something like that. It's just a shortened version of your full name. So in this example, it could be Ballas. This will be used in various places where the full name does not fit. And yeah, for the gang logo, you're going to need an URL of some kind of a picture. In here, I have a Ballas logo picture, and this will be used for your gang logo and also the graffitis. And for the gang color, you can select any color you want. This will just be used to represent your gangs, and this will be the color of your territories. So as you can see, we successfully created a gang. In here, you're going to see basic information of your gang. You're going to see your power, how many territories are you the leader of, and your coin balance. The coins are basically currency for the dark web, which allows you to buy upgrades for your gang and start enjoying contracts. So this button also allows you to edit the gang, so you can change the leader, edit the color, maybe change the name and stuff like that. For example, you can change the color, and as you can see, it changes. Then we have the members tab. So in here, you're going to see all of the gang members. You're going to see if they're online, and you're also going to have some actions. I'm currently alone in the server, so I cannot show that to you, but you can basically change their rank or just kick them out of the group. And here you can add a new player. I cannot show the POV of the player that's getting invited, but they're just going to basically get a pop-up that asks them if they want to join the gang, and they can either accept it or decline. In here we have the ranks menu. So by default, every single gang has two ranks, the leader and the member. These cannot be changed, and they're always going to be here. The member is the default rank for any new members that join the gang, and the leader is of course the leader's rank. You can also create a new rank and then edit it. So let's, for example, name this getaway driver. And then we have permissions. Permissions are really important in managing the gang because they limit some functions from members that you might not trust. And it also gives additional functions to higher end members of your gang. So for example, this range means managing gang, so they can create new ranks, edit the ranks, or even edit the gang information up here. This is managing members, so they can invite new members, kick members, or just change their ranks. For this, if the member that they're trying to edit is in a higher rank than theirs, they will not be able to, so you can always set up the gang hierarchy however you want. This is to access the stash houses. So for example, maybe you have a new member in your gang that you do not want to steal all of your items. You can remove this permission from him so he won't be able to access the stash houses. And this is basically contract and coin spending. So a player that has this permission can spend your gang's coins on upgrades and contracts, which I'm going to get into later. And uh, without this permission, they will have to ask someone else to start the contract and stuff like that. So for example, let's give this rank these permissions. Then you can also move up or move down. If I press move up, it won't move up because the leader is the highest possible rank. But you can also like change the hierarchy. You can also delete it. Since we don't need it, we'll just leave it as deleted. Then we have the statistics. This tab displays various information. More statistics can also be added. If you have any suggestions, please let us know. We're always looking on how we could improve our resources and we really appreciate them. But as of right now, you have these statistics and they're not only used for fun and just to look at, they're used for tasks, which I will speak more about a little bit later. But these statistics are also pretty important to earn more reputation on the dealers and also additional coins. So the all gangs tab is just pretty much shows how all the gangs, how much power they have, how many territories they own, and their member count. You can also sort it if you want to see, which gang has the most power at the moment. And to be clear, power is not something that you gain by doing tasks. The power is all of your influence in various territories summed up. And you can basically set up that, if you have enough power, some items unlock or some tasks unlock. If you don't have enough power, maybe something is locked. So that's just for that. Then the territories tab. In here, we're going to see all of these territories. They're fully configurable. You can set up them in any shape you want and like. There's also various types. All of these are the same type. By default, there's only one type. You can always add more and configure more. And the most interesting part about territories is not just them, but these interest points. For example, the refinery, the stash house, and the grandma. I'm gonna get into these a little bit later when we talk about upgrades, since these things can be upgraded and have to be upgraded, and then I'll show them to you. But basically, clicking on them allows you to set a waypoint that will just set a waypoint so you can navigate easier, and clicking on the zone will show the zone's name and also the progress bar, which is currently empty, but when various gangs have influence in the zone, this will fill up right quickly. And the dark web tab. So we're going to start with the dealers, and we're going to leave contracts for then because it's a pretty big feature. The dealers are pretty much also one of the biggest and most important features of the script. Most of the interactions are going to happen here. So by default, there's 3 dealers. It's also extensively configurable, so you can add your own dealers, remove these, edit them, do whatever you want with them. All of the configuration is available in our documentation. So I'm not going to show it right here, but there's a link in the description of this video. You can check it out there, see what's customizable, and I can tell you pretty much everything is customizable because we wanted to make this resource as configurable and extensive as possible, so you can make the experience for your players however you'd like it. You'll also see that each dealer has reputation from 0 to 100. Reputation unlocks new tasks, new items in the shop, and is also required for various contracts. So let's check out Lamar. So in here you're going to see the reputation and your gang's coins balance, and I'm going to start from the bottom because it's the most boring part of everything. So the shop is pretty simple. You can order items from here. Items can be locked until a specific amount of reputation is reached or a specific task is completed, and you can always add more items into the shop that players can unlock in the future, and this just allows for even more progression in the script. And buying works in a really simple way. You just add the item to the cart. You can also add like a few of them. You're going to see the total price. This price is deducted from the bank account by default, but that is of course changeable. You can remove it and you can of course buy it. When you buy it, you're gonna get a drop-off location in the map that is gonna look like so. So let me teleport real quick to here, and I'm also going to talk a little bit more about these drop-offs, since they are okay. This one is not configured properly, sorry for that, but basically these drop-offs are also interesting because other gangs can get notifications when gangs are purchasing through dark web. So for example, I bought through dark web and there's another gang. They might have gotten a notification that I bought it and an approximate location in the radius of where this drop off would be. So they can come and steal this. They can come and follow me and then rob me and stuff like that. And this is all from upgrades, so I'm gonna show them later. It's not an always, it does not always happen, and it's based on upgrades, and it's also disableable. But yeah, to access the drop-off, you can just target it, open it, and you can see all of the items in it. So for example, let me take 4 of those graffiti cans. If you take all of the items, the drop-off point is removed. I don't, sadly don't have the image for the graffiti can. Did not put it, or probably made a typo, but that's not an issue. And yeah, this is the shop. And now upgrades, and I'm also going to talk about what I meant before. So Leicester by default has 2 of upgrades. It's called Intel Gathering and Intel Privacy. So Intel Gathering is the upgrade that allows you to get information when other gangs are purchasing items through dark web and get the location of their drop-offs. And Intel Privacy secures you from that and lowers the chance of other gangs getting them. So both of these upgrades are pretty important. Lamar has different upgrades, for example, the Stash House and the Grandma, and Martin has also other upgrades, for example, Security and Refinery. You can change which dealers have what upgrades. By default, there's only 6 of them, but we're going to add more in the future when we think of new features that we can add in. And we're also, as I said, open to your suggestions, so if you have any, please let us know. And as you can see, upgrades require some coins to purchase. And to get these coins, there's 2 main ways. You can get them through completing tasks or through completing contracts. You can also configure so that the zones generate coins for the gangs, but in the current configuration, that is not the case. We have disabled it, so the gangs are forced to complete these tasks and also the contracts. So for these tasks, as you can see, Lamar Davis has currently 1 task for us, and it's Street Artist number 1. All of these tasks are based on gangs. They're not personal, so the whole gang can contribute to the task and complete it together. And the whole task system is inspired by a game called Escape from Tarkov. And basically, completing one task may unlock another, completing that task may unlock 2 other ones. Completing tasks also can unlock new items in the shop and might even be a requirement for joining a contract or upgrading. So tasks play a very important role in the dark web, and as you can see, you also get reputation for the dealers. The reputation is also very important because it, as I said before, it unlocks new items in the shop, and it can also be a requirement for the contracts, and it also unlocks new upgrades. So to view the task, you get a small description. There's various types of tasks pre-configured. You can also customize them. So for example, this task is an event task. So it requires you to paint 3 graffitis. The event task is probably the most customizable one because you can add it to any other script via our exports and events. So that, for example, if you have a drug selling script, the task might be, sell 10 joints. You can add an event to your drug selling script so that every time a player sells a joint, an event is called and progress is added to that task. Then we also have a statistics task type. So this basically requires you to reach a specific number in the statistics here. So for example, 10 contracts completed, or reach a power of 300 or something like that. And the final type is give items. So for example, Lamar uh, later down the road has a task called gathering lockpicks, and this requires you to give him 10 lockpicks, and then you finish up the task. So to start the task, you basically click start, and there's going to be a progress bar that appears. And to complete this task, you'll actually have to teleport into a zone. So to do that, you just teleport here, and you're gonna have to paint graffitis. So for the graffitis, it's a pretty simple system. You basically have a graffiti can item, and I'm also going to add myself a graffiti sponge item, which I'm also gonna show to you. It will allow you to clean off the graffitis. So graffitis basically not only help you represent your gang in the hood, in your hoods, but also provide influence in various territories. So you can use them to take over other gang territories. So to use the graffitis, you just basically use the item, a graffiti of your logo will appear, and you basically choose any surface you want. You can also rotate it, and you just spray E, and a cool animation will pop up, and you will spray the graffiti onto the surface. And as you can see, I sprayed one of the graffitis for the task, and if you go to the gangs menu, you're gonna see that some progress has appeared. So let me paint a few more of them. So that's two right here, and that's the third one. So now that we have painted those three graffitis, we can go to the Lamar tasks. As you can see, we have 0 reputation and 0 coins. We finished up the task, we can press finish, and we get 5 reputation, 10 coins, and we get a new task, which is called Street Artist number 2. And for this task, we'll have to clean 3 different gang graffitis, and you cannot cleaning your own does not count in this example. To clean off the graffitis, you use the sponge item. It's pretty much the same. You go to the nearest graffiti that you want. It will have this outline. We're gonna press E, and we're going to clean it off. This will remove influence from the gang that the graffiti is from. And as you can see in here, now we have taken over this territory. We have the most influence in here. And as you can see, it's Ballas has 100%. So that's pretty much that for the tasks. Like Martin has all these different tasks already pre-configured. So, it requires you to upgrade your security to level 2. This, is spending 25 coins. Lamar has a different task. It's Hacker 1. It basically tells you to go find a security box in a garage near the Legion Square Flecka Bank. I'm not going to show these to you and leave them to experience them yourselves. But these are just the default tasks. We have, I think, 5 tasks for the each dealer configured. So it's something to do right out of the box. But yeah, that's for the tasks. And since we claimed the zone, we can also access the various points of interest now. So if you go to the gangs and you go to territories, we can see that this territory, as I said, is ours. And we have grandma, stash houses, and refineries. As you can see, not every single territory has all of these points. Some might only have the refinery, some might only the stash house, and etc. All of these require to access them. You require to have at least level 1 of them. So for example, let me go to Lamar real quick. We have 10 coins, and to upgrade stash house to level 1, it requires 5. So let's upgrade it. And now we can mark it down so it's easier to navigate. Let me teleport to it right quickly. And stash houses are these enterable interiors, as you can see here. And when you enter them, it's basically an interior that is configurable and changeable. And also all of these props, the table, the sofa, and these boxes are dynamically spawned depending on the level of the stash house. And you can add more stash boxes, different props for different levels. For example, maybe the level 1 stash house is just pretty much empty, and maybe the level 3 has, a full blown out luxury apartment. Also, each stash house can be different for each zone. So, for example, level 1 in this zone is this stash house, with one stash box. And for example, in a territory that is, let's say, Grove Street, the stash house is an apartment in one of the houses, and the stash boxes are cabinets or stuff like that. So the stash box is pretty simpler. You just open a stash and you can put your items in here. And also another interesting thing about stash houses is that they can be raided by other gangs and police members. I cannot show it to you right now, but it's pretty simple. They just come up to the stash house. They have to have the required item. For example, let's say a lockpick. They complete a minigame and then they can access the stash house for a specific amount of time. And to prevent this, gangs can upgrade their security here. which increases the difficulty of the minigame or even secures it completely so no one can break into these stash houses. Then we have Grandma. So Grandma is pretty much self-explanatory. Let me just upgrade right quick. It's basically an NPC and that will revive you and your gang members if you're dead. So, like for example, let's say I'm dead and from a gunfight and someone dropped me off here, I can target it, use Hood Grandma, and for $1,000 she's going to revive me. And she also has a cooldown, so for example, level 1 cooldown can be like an hour and it might cost $2,000, and like let's say level 3 Grandma cooldown is 15 minutes and it costs $50. So you can decrease the cooldown and also make it cheaper. And the final interest point that we have is the Refinery. This is configurable in many different ways. It's basically a way to reward the players for having the zone and as well a crafting station for the gangs. So accessing the refinery, you can set a required item and also reward intervals. So for example, I cannot access it right now because I don't have the upgrade and I don't think I have enough coins for it. Yeah, I do not. So let me add some real quickly through the database so I can show it to you. 1 second. Also have to restart the script so it loads up the new database. And we have 50 coins now, and as you can see, we own one zone and we also have 11 power now. So I'm gonna upgrade it right now. And these refineries are basically, it takes some time to update when you upgrade. So as you can see, it's now accessible. So for example, in this zone, it's configured that you need steel in order to get lockpicks. You need 10 steel to make one lockpick and one craft takes 10 seconds. So for example, if I give myself 10 steel, I can deposit 10 of them right here. As you can see, it's it already made it. I probably for testing set a time to very low, so that's why it happened so quickly. But it crafts you the lockpick, and then you can withdraw it, and now you have a lockpick. These zones can also be made to give out money or coins, and you can also disable the required item, so the reward item just comes at an interval. So for example, you said that each hour the gang gets 10 coins from that refinery, and upgrading it decreases the time interval between the rewards. So it's just a pretty extensive way of to reward your players for owning these zones, and also maybe bring some different dynamics to crafting in your server. So I think that's pretty. Oh, contracts. I almost forgot it. So for example, we have this supply run contract here. Uh, it starts in 18 minutes and you require to have completed the street artist 1. So I'm not gonna make you wait 18 minutes, so let me change it right quickly to so it starts in just a few seconds. But for that, I'm gonna head to the config and I'll also have to restart the script. And contracts are one of the coolest features the script has because they are, okay, we got the supply run 2. As you can see, it requires different tasks and repetitions completed, and it's a different contract. So let me restart the script again. Maybe I'll get lucky. Okay, we can join a contract, and the contracts are global events that happen. They might require, a few gangs to join them, and they might require some policemen to be active. The important thing about contracts and the way it works is that it's an event with a predefined scenario and predefined rewards, and the gangs spend coins to access and join them. And when you join these contracts, multiple gangs can join at the same time. So the gangs might not only have to fight, for example, the NPCs and police, they will also have to fight between each other for that mission. So I think it should have started, and yes, as you can see, it has a blip in here. So this contract is configured in a way that we have this truck that we need to lockpick, and we have these three gangs here. So all of these contracts are completely configurable. You can see all of the configuration and the guide on how to create new ones really easily in the documentation. As I've said before, the link is in the description. And you can basically, decide what kind of pet spawns, what kind of weapons they have, what should they do, what kind of vehicles spawn, what kind of entities, what kind of the actions can be done to both the vehicle, entities, and the pets, and all that kind of stuff. So it's pretty much a mission builder for the gangs, and you can create anything you want pretty much. If you find a limitation and you want to create something and it's not doable, let us know, we'll add that right in. And yeah, for this contract, I'm gonna enable God mode because they have some pretty good weapons. And I'm gonna die instantly if I'm alone. So for example, in this contract, these guards are, not shooting at you or doing anything until you try to do something to the truck. So as you can see, we have to lockpick the truck, and for that, we need the lockpick item in this example. I have disabled the minigame at the moment, but you can add it, and it's um, like customizable, so you can add our mini games, you can add different mini games, you can check for different items, for different things. You can also execute custom code if you're experienced enough for that, and stuff like that, so it's customizable as much as you want. So let me just lockpick this, and as you can see, the boot opens, and now they pull out their guns and they start shooting at me. And as you can see, we have some boxes in the truck. And when I pick these up, I'm going to get some rewards and the contract is going to be finished. And there's also an option to configure so that the entities stay. And there's also an option that when the contract ends, everything gets deleted. In this example, we're going to see everything gets deleted. So when I retrieve these boxes, everything got deleted. And okay, I was actually really unlucky. So it is configured to 50-50 chance of getting some items, and I got none of them. So I managed to hit all of the 50% of not getting the items. So yeah, but you can configure so that the players get various items. They might get reputation for the dealers. The reputation may get removed from the dealers. They might get coins. They might get money and stuff like that. So yeah, these are the contracts. And I think that is pretty much it. We went through most of the stuff. And yeah, as you can see, we spent 10 on security, we got 10 of them back. And in statistics, you can see that one contract has been completed. So the gangs that basically do the final action win the contract and probably get the most rewards. That is also configurable, and other counts as fails. So yeah, that's pretty much, I think. If you have any questions regarding the script, please ask them in our Discord server. We're here to help you out, and if you thought something was unclear in the video, you can open up a ticket or just ask in the discussion channel and we'll answer to you as fast as can. And thank you for watching, thank you for being interested, and just thank you for being our customer. Goodbye.